What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. I see a bunch of you guys here, of course. A lot of green names over there again. That's really awesome. I love to see it. I see a lot of people are watching the Monday Night Football game. That's cool. I get it. But yeah, so anyway, guys, this is the channel where you can come for all the Corvette, latest Corvette news, maintenance items, rumors, ownership experiences. If it's Corvette you want, Corvette you shall get right here. And actually, you can tell just how Corvette oriented we are by looking at David's background there. He's got his C6 and his C8 both just chilling behind him. But yeah, guys, definitely let's start off with a bang. Let's do the thumbs up as quick as we possibly can. Yeah. That would be awesome. Where are we at right now? I don't think that's accurate. Let me back out of this.
It's like banging up for me over here. We're already at 31, 32, 33. All right.
Yep, guys, let's thumbs up. Let's get to 100 by 8 o'clock. I was a little bit late getting on, so we got maybe 9 extra minutes so we can go to 8:09. But usually I like to be at 100 by half an hour in and another 200 by the full hour. So let's try to smash that tonight, guys. Obviously, tonight is sponsored and brought to you by Racing Sport Concepts, RSC. The big bit of news from RSC, if you guys haven't seen it on my Facebook or my Instagram, or actually even in the community tab on the YouTube channel, is the fact that the ZR 1.1 wing is back in stock. So if you click on it, you're going to be greeted with a beautiful rear end, and that just so happens to be my car. And that ZR 1.1 wing is in stock right now. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Justin, do you offer a discount? I don't offer a discount, but RSC might if you give them a call and mention horsepower obsessed. You have to call them, though. So if you're interested in that wing, give them a call because these things are going to go quick. Guarantee these things are not going to last. So call them, mention HPO, get your wing, and get it on your car. I mean, look at that. That thing's freaking gorgeous.
Oh, it's amazing. And honestly, I like it better than the OEM when we had Steven's ZR1 sitting right next to yours at Carlisle, because that one, even though it's big and obnoxious, it's still a little bit less obnoxious than stock. Whereas it's just the right amount of obnoxious. I
was just going to say there's a certain amount of obnoxious that the car can handle, and this one right here is at 99.9%. The actual ZR1 wing is at like 108.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and when you first flashed that picture up there, I'm still getting used to your Seawolf gray car.
I know,
because you popped it up there, and for a second I was like, "Who's? Oh, that's Justin's new car." I'm still getting used to it, dude. I've seen you so much with the black cars.
Well, what's really interesting, if you're looking at the picture still, is this the way that this particular photographer took these pictures. That's my car. But then if we scroll down here a little bit, that's Bill's cacti car.
No, I didn't notice that yet.
The difference in the color is almost undistinguishable. Like that's cacti, and then this is my Seawolf. Like it doesn't look that close in person. I don't know what's going on with the photo there, but it looks more cacti. Like that's Bill's car.
Right.
That's a cacti green right there, and then that's my Seawolf gray.
Well, and
like there's almost no
difference. Exactly, and I waited to do the high risers on my Z07 wing for my Z06 because you had the high risers and I didn't want to have the same risers. Now you have the ZR1. That's what I'm doing this week before I leave for the F1 races. I'm going to put the high risers on mine so I can get it up where it should be.
Yeah, and if I went with the Z07 wing again, I would have done the risers again. The risers look perfect on that car. The car, in my opinion, of course, I don't think you can have a car like this without a fairly obnoxious wing. Like this, the C7 ZR1 I've seen that car without the wing or without the ZTK package. And it's just like, it looks like someone neutered it. Like, it's just like, it's this big beastly car and they chopped the wing off. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is about that.
Always from the C7 on, that the ZR1, any ZR1 they put into production has to have that wing or a big wing like that. 100%.
Professor Corvette,
and
of course.
I'm with Ricky on some of these things too. Like I think even too, if you put it on like you have a Z06, if it had a little bit lower risers where the high risers sit for theirs, the RC high risers for the regular wing, that height, even a lot of people would choose that option over the much higher ZR1 style.
Yeah.
I bet you any
Yeah.
money.
Professor Corvette says that he needs a wing for his wing. Can RC do that? I would be willing to bet RC could do it. And actually, where did I just see that? I just saw it somewhere on Facebook where somebody set a Z07 wing on top of a C8 Stingray high wing or something. It was like there was a wing on top of a wing. I did that one time a long time ago when I had my C8 Stingray. I put 2 high wings on top of each other just because I had 2. And I took a picture of it.
All card lines.
Yeah, I took a picture of it and posted it on the community tab, and just I was greeted immediately with a bunch of hate about why would you do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's just sitting on there, guys. Like, relax. I'm not actually going to put a wing on a wing. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like you were talking about the car looking newer, right? So when Steven and I were at the track for him to make that record run on his ZR1, of course, he took the wing off. And he didn't even bring it to the track. When he pulled it off the trailer, the first thing when it starts to back out, I'm like, this doesn't look right.
Right.
Steven, this is completely not right, dude. Like, this wing has to be on this car. I understand why you took it off, but literally it did not even look. I was like, no. This does not work, man. No.
Yeah, so it's interesting because whenever I went out and reviewed Street Speed's C8 ZR1, he had his wing off as well because he was doing some drag racing against like the Plaid and stuff. And without the wing, it's like it just looks like a Z06. Like, so it's not until you slap the wing on there that you're greeted with, oh man, this car is something else. So if you get the low wing or the non-ZTK version of the C8 ZR1, I just feel like you're missing something special. You're purposely not getting that really awesome thing.
Extra.
And of course, this is just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, Sean asks. Sean asks, is Justin's a Packer fan? Because I got this helmet back here. It was given to me by my uncle. My uncle actually knows Mike McCarthy in real life, and this is a signed helmet from Mike McCarthy whenever he was the head coach for the Packers. So I busted that out of storage, and I was like, you know what? It's going on the live. I am a Packers fan. I've been a Packers fan since I was like 8, and I was a huge Brett Favre fan.
I remember us having that conversation. How weird it was, where you live that you're a Packers fan.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it don't make sense, but everybody loves. You got your team, and that's the team.
Everybody hated me in 2010 because where I worked, like everybody there was rooting for the Steelers, of course, in the Super Bowl.
Of course,
and I was like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jinx myself, but I was like, yeah, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. And of course, the Packers won, and I came in the next day, and everybody congratulated me for not being what they called a sore winner, which I had never heard that before. Well, the balloons, but
the balloons, because you're a good winner.
I was gonna say I didn't want to talk any smack because with the Steelers, you never freaking know, but the Packers pulled it off, so. Yeah, I am a Packers fan. That's a long way of saying I'm a Packers fan.
Yep.
Ricky says he needs a set of high wickers. They have wickers as well in carbon fiber. So again, guys, RSC Racing Sport Concepts, they literally make the highest quality carbon fiber I've ever seen. I would actually call it OEM plus. So it is as good as OEM, if not actually better. And the only reason I say plus is because it doesn't have that brownish tint to it that the OEM carbon has. So I would call it plus. I love the way the stuff looks on my car. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it literally took the car to supercar levels with the ZR1 wing and everything, the bigger front splitter, all good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like definitely the RSC spoilers are more aggressive, whatever. But the package of the higher 07 wing or your ZR1 wing with that GTZ spoiler, next level, the car is completely changed. I love, because you got yours right before Carlisle. When I put mine on, I was like, holy crap. Like, at first, when I pull out the box, I was like, this is really big. I don't know how this is going to look. But once it hits the car, you're like, yep, that's exactly what it should look like.
Yep. So Sean is actually a Packer fan. How about that, Sean? We got more in common than we even know, man. We haven't been down the route of the football stuff.
I've been meaning to ask you lately how you feel now that you live outside of the Pittsburgh area that you've got Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback now as a Packers fan.
To be honest with you, I don't really care. Aaron Rodgers is a fantastic quarterback, but he is not in his prime anymore, and you can tell.
No.
He's a great quarterback still. It's just he's not what he once was, and honestly, I still have nothing but respect for him. So hopefully, in the best way, shape, and form for me, Aaron Rodgers does really well while the Steelers lose horribly. Like if those two things could happen, I'd be absolutely fine with that.
Yep, I got it.
Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, that's true. Let me see.
Yeah, and I agree, Mark. They should make a ZTK wing that hardtop convertible compatible. Like that would be amazing.
They don't?
That would be absolutely amazing. I don't think so.
Are we talking OEM or RSC? Because I don't.
Those RSC. He's talking. I think he's talking like tucking in like convertible capability. Because he was like, "Now you see me, now you don't," wing kind of thing.
Oh, so like active aero or something. I was going to say because
something like that. Yeah.
The cacti car that Bill had, it was a convertible, and he had the spoiler on there. So
his is the convertible.
Yeah, it's definitely, you could definitely do it if you want, but if you're looking to like have it like sucked down into the body or something, yeah, that's a different story. But I'll tell you what, man, there's not a time that I'm driving this car with this wing on there that I'm thinking, oh man, I wish that wing wasn't so visible. If anything, I'm like, man, I almost wish it was a little bit bigger. Like it's a great looking wing on that car. It really does look like it was supposed to be there.
Oh, it does.
And
and again, the package of that with the GTZ front splitter, balances out the aero front to back. Just balances out. It looks amazing.
We talked about it initially on the live video here, where we thought it was before the ZTK ZR1 was announced. I thought that they were going to make the front splitter a little bit different, slightly bigger, to offset the fact that rear spoiler is so huge. And while that didn't happen yet, there is something, as you guys have seen from my previous videos, there is something coming for the ZTK package on at least the ZR1X that's going to add an additional dive plane on the top of the current dive plane. So it is going to kind of start to balance it out a little bit more, because that wing in the back is really big. So
and again, that just balances it, right? And maybe not from a performance standpoint, because I'm sure the engineers put all the time into the aero, but from a visual standpoint,
exactly
balancing that out.
That's a great point. So yeah, as far as aero is concerned, it might be balanced fine as it is, but visually it's not. KPS is that wing adjustable? I think the stock ZR1 wing is, and so is the RSC wing. There is a more aggressive angle that you can put it on for track purposes. And that's another thing, guys. This wing, as you can see, actually listed on the RSC web page here, it is actually tested. Let's see if I can find it here. It has been tested. Yeah, right there. It was on the track. Bill took it to Mid-Ohio, tested it on the track himself to verify, number one, it holds the downforce, it provides downforce, it does the things that you want a wing to do. And it's not going to just like snap in half or anything stupid. Like all the stuff from RSC is built in, with form and function in mind. So you get absolutely perfectly laid carbon fiber, but it's going to do what it's there to do as well. It's not just one trick pony. So and Bill and like those guys, those are race car drivers, guys. Oh, like it's not some dude just out putzing around. These guys can drive. They are legit race car drivers. Yeah, TJ was up here maybe a month ago or so to pit race, and he was actually in a completely gutted, stripped out Miata and took Bill Miller for a ride. I don't know if Bill's in here or not, but took Bill for a ride in a gutted Miata. And believe it or not, the way that the pit race is set up, that's like the best car you can have on that track, because they're basically go-karts. And TJ just beat him up, on the track. Cause I mean, he's moving around. There's no padding. There's no sound deadening. Things loud as heck. And I mean, it's exactly what a race car driver wants.
And again, that when you're getting that from RSC, they take it on the track and they test. These guys are legit race car drivers. They have their racing licenses and they race.
Yeah. Robert Brun says, is the wing mounted to the chassis? Yes, it is. It's mounted the same way your Z07 wing would be mounted. So my car
and that was the one thing that RSC prided themselves in. They actually based it off.
Yeah,
the
it's
OEM
not just
bolt on, bolt off.
It's not just bolted to the trunk lid or anything. It is chassis mounted, and my car was a Z07 package car, so all I had to do is literally 4 bolts, take off the old wing, 4 bolts, put on the new one, I'm good to go. So if you already have a Z07 car, it is a super easy install. If you don't have a Z07 car, it's still not a bad install. You just have to install the brackets as well.
Right, which they weren't bad because, I did the EOS wing first on mine, and those brackets were completely different. And then RSC was like, hey, send me those brackets so we can look at them. And again, they were like, yeah, that you can, and just a public service announcement, not because of one or the other, but you cannot mount the stock stuff to the EOS mounts. We tried it, both Brandon and I did, we tried it. They won't mount just the stock stuff. So the RSC stuff will, the EOS don't. They're both great, whatever, but just know that it is not plug and play with the others. So,
they're, regardless of what you're trying to do, if you have a Z07 package car, you can use the Z07 wing from RSC. You can use the risers from RSC. You can use the ZR1.1 wing from RSC. All that stuff will bolt directly on as if it was a OEM part. Now, if you don't have a Z07 package car, you are going to need the brackets as well to hold everything in place, but their brackets are just as strong, if not stronger, again, than the OEM brackets, and they mount in the same location. Okay, so Professor Corvette says, what's up with the Demon versus ZR1? What happened that we wouldn't expect? So we've had this conversation before. I am going to just jump right into this one. I do want to get this out there before people start getting crazy. But let's smash the thumbs up, guys. We got 5 more minutes until we're at 8 o'clock. We got 65 thumbs ups. We got enough people in here watching. We should be able to hit 100. But I've had this question come up quite a bit. Well, what about the Demon? The ZR1 is so good, but it can't beat a Demon. And to be honest, whenever I heard that, I said, I don't really care that much. Like, the Demon is set up for drag strip racing. The ZR1 is not. Right. So if the ZR1 loses to a Demon, I'm not losing any sleep. There's actually a video I found, I happened by it today, of a guy in a Demon really kind of coming across as if he was certain he was going to win. He gave the ZR1 the jump, like literally maybe a second. He gave him the hit. Maybe a second. Then the Demon takes off. And of course, number one, that's a prep track. You can hear the Demon doesn't spin at all. The Demon has drag radials. The ZR1 doesn't. All this stuff. But as the race is going on, the ZR1 is almost going to pass him. Like, it gets to the point where if that strip was 3 feet longer, the ZR1 would have passed him. And this is my way of saying, even though the ZR1 technically lost that race, it's not built for that, whereas the Demon is. And the Demon has roughly, if it's on race gas, it's similar horsepower. And it's not built, the ZR1's not built for it. It still almost beats the Demon. So let me pop this over here and I'll show you.
Yeah, and I will say too that the ZR1 is still building. It is still going faster. Where it's going to pull. Like, if it was a half-mile race, not even close, dude. For a Demon and a ZR1, the ZR1 will murder it. But the other thing is, like, Street Speed's video, he ran into it as well. If you're not running drag radials, you're going to get wheel hop. You're not going to get a good, because the street tires, they're sticky. Even the Cup 2s, they're sticky, but they have stiff sidewalls. They're small sidewalls. They're meant for handling. They're not meant to give you that launch, where a drag radial has a softer sidewall, more sidewall to give a little bit more give, so you actually launch and you don't just wheel hop halfway down the track. So again, I mean, that's a problem if you're on stock tires. That you're not going to get a good launch in these cars.
The thing to really pay attention to here, Professor Corvette, is yes, the ZR1 does lose, but the way that it loses is I hate to say this, but the way that it loses is actually a victory, because this car is not built for drag strip running in the slightest. And the car that it's racing has drag radials on it. Like, you're talking about a car that is 100% built and prepped for the track, and a ZR1 straight off the dealer lot. and it almost wins. That's a win as far as I'm concerned.
I don't remember. I watched it very quickly today because I was running errands for you. I didn't get much sleep, but did they post the time on that? Because I've
No.
seen guys around
I don't think
here.
he did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I've seen guys around here that are running demons that are not. They're not 8 seconds. They're not running 8 seconds. They're not. Yeah, you can probably. It's a possibility you can do it, but these guys are running low nines. I mean, they're right where Steven was with drag radials as far as that goes, and the mile an hour for Steven at 152. Like that's demon mile an hour plus a couple of miles.
Well,
they're like right at 150.
The 9-second ZR1, I like it. But he says the demon may be built for the quarter-mile track, but loses markedly on any track. Like or
it does.
And that's the thing. It's like if you threw that thing on
yes.
an actual racetrack, it wouldn't even come close to a ZR1. So the fact that the ZR1 literally almost beats it at a drag strip when it's built for the track is a gigantic win.
Anyway. And not just that, but roll racing it. If you roll race a demon in a ZR1, the ZR1's going to destroy it. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not built to roll race. It's not a 60 to 130 car. It's not a 233 mile an hour car. It's not going to keep building speed until 200 miles an hour. It's just not going to do that. But I just posted Steven's video and I got, well, it's almost as fast as a plaid. It's almost as fast as
I hate that comment. Okay, I hate that so bad.
I'm going to say it.
Put a plaid on a track. Put a plaid on a track.
Exactly.
Put it in its actual habitat.
I have literally driven plaids fast. And I tell you, unless you have the track pack separately, you're stopping that car once from that speed. After that, you have zero freaking brakes. It's a monster. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. You're taking this car. And then the one guy was like, oh, you paid all that money for a ZR1. I was like, and his example was a Demon 170. I'm like, you tell me anybody that didn't pay 100 over for a Demon 170? Anybody.
Well, this is a Demon 170 as well. But
and that's what I'm saying.
But this it's not a fair comparison. I understand, but I'm only throwing it out there because I've heard so many people say, just like you said with the whole, oh, and you pay all this money and then a plaid comes along. Like, I don't care if a plaid can beat me in a quarter mile. Put it on a track where it was actually built to be, and it won't even be close. But the ZR1 will come very close to beating it in a drag strip where it's not supposed to be. So when you look at it from that point of view, the plaid is useless on a track. The ZR1 will dominate it. The plaid does really well on a drag strip, but so does the ZR1. So you're talking about a car that does all of it versus a car that's a one-trick pony.
And you're talking about tenths of a second,
if
that.
Yeah. All right, so let me.
The Demon 170 is not like a. And again, I hate to say it's not like a plaid. The plaid will be a switch watch. It'll do the same thing all day, every day. If your plaid runs 9.2s or 9s, whatever your plaid runs, it'll do that all day long.
All right, let me show the video here real quick. You guys, I want you to see the video because, like I said, this isn't just me talking about it. This actually happened. So you could tell he gives the guy the jump, but at the same time, just watch the ZR1 as it starts to catch up to it, and afterwards I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some of the comments because a lot of the comments were like, "Oh, this guy's pretty confident for a guy who just about got reeled in from a ZR1." It's pretty good stuff. So anyway, check out this video. Right there, you can see him. He is literally right beside him. And the funny part about this is I read through some of the comments, and there is a good chance that the ZR1 actually did win this race. Based on what I've read, it sounds like it won by this much. But that's not really the point. The whole point here is that the ZR1 does it all while you got a drag strip built purpose car here. With drag radios. You can hear whenever he launches it, there is no wheel slip at all. He's got drag radios on a prep track. And again, if you go into the comment section here, the very first comment says, you gave him the jump and he lets you run on slicks and race fuel. Bro bragging about getting ran down, laughing face. The ZR1 is faster, started to reel in the Demon. You can tell that the ZR1 can keep pulling on a longer stretch. Yep. This rundown proves the ZR1 is the better engine. Put a drag pack on the ZR1 and the 170 gets pulled to Gapplebee's for lunch. This is what I'm talking about. The fact that this stuff, that this car can do both things while the Demon 170 purpose-built drag strip car can't. And it can't even necessarily beat the car. If you put drag radials on that ZR1, odds are very good that ZR1's going to beat it if it didn't right here. So,
well, and I'll be honest with you too. I don't know, like, again, Steven had a drag radial. Steven did 9303. 4/1000s close to 92s. And that's with the stock front tire, stock width, stock. He didn't have a drag pack on the front. The Demon comes with a drag pack when you buy it. Okay. It's a great quarter-mile car, guys. I would love to have a Demon. Please don't get me wrong. I have a massive horsepower town. It's a great car. But when you start crapping on one because it didn't beat the Demon in its wheelhouse, but yet nobody's going, oh, well, did you see the Dodge Demon 170 Nürburgring time? Nobody said that. Nobody. Because it's silly to even say shit like that. We might as well. We're gonna do
somebody
say, oh,
somebody in here said that the Demon would have an 11-minute Nürburgring time. All right, so real quick though, guys, I was asked what the giveaway is for tonight. I am going to be giving away a set of titanium lug nuts. So RSC is sponsoring the channel tonight, but we just want to talk about RSC products. We're not going to actually give away an RSC product. We're going to be giving away titanium lug nuts for a C6, C7, or a C8. So if you have one of those 3 generations, you can win the titanium lug nuts. Now, this is coming directly out of my own personal arsenal, so we are going to have to raise a certain amount of money here. So if you guys are interested in that, you can do the same thing. It's $10 for an entry. $50 or more is double entries. We have to hit at least $400 for me to give these away, because that's roughly what I'm going to pay for them. So titanium lug nuts for C7 or C6, C7, or C8. If you have one of those 3 cars, you can enter in to win this thing. And titanium lug nuts are awesome. They'll save you 2.5 pounds of unsprung mass on your Corvette. So let's get it rolling, guys. If you want to get in on this, now's the time. Also, actually, real quick, other than losing weight on those titanium lug nuts, they also won't corrode, so they'll never rust. I have yet to see any one of my titanium lug nuts chip, so they'll stay looking brand new. What else?
And I've punished mine.
Yeah. Yeah, no corrosion is a big deal. Look at this. Protective Dad Pranks in the house, guys. You guys remember him, I'm sure.
What's up, Steve?
He comes in and immediately goes, Justin said nuts. Yeah, just like I just picture Beavis and Butthead after he said nuts. What's going on, Steve?
Yeah, and Professor Corvette said it'd be nice to have the SRT guys working for Team Corvette. I will give them one credit though. Hey, I'm going to put a big blower on a big motor. We're going to go 9 seconds from the factory when they put the Demon out. The reveal for the Demon,
it was cool.
When they did that, unbelievable. Like the way they took it out inside and launched the damn thing with the fire going off, and then they helicoptered one into the drag strip. I mean, okay, hats off to you, Dodge. That was freaking awesome.
Dodge has always known.
The same car.
They have always known how to advertise their cars.
It's what sells, right? It's what horsepower sells, right? Yep. I get it. But GM murdered everything up with the zero. The Nürburgring time, I mean, it's a 9.3 with the drag pack. It's a 9.2 or 9.1 car. Like this thing's gonna
right out of the box, and that's why like these cars have their purpose. But it's like when you're a purpose-built car, you usually only can do one of the two. You're either a drag strip car or a track car. But the fact that the ZR1's doing both is really impressive.
It is impressive. It really is.
Protective Dad Prank says, long time no talk. Justin, we just talked like an hour ago. Me and Steve, I almost daily, me and Steve are talking. So one of these days I'm going to have Steve back on the live here for just like a grand reunion. The titanium lug nuts are black, guys. So they're black, and they won't chip, they won't corrode. They save 2.5 pounds off the stock lug nuts. And believe it or not, if you have the black lug nuts, if you paid the $300 from GM for the black lug nuts, odds are very good yours are already starting to rust, because mine were. And that's really disappointing.
That video. That blew me away because it wasn't that long either.
No, I had the car for like 2 months at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It was pathetic, really, because then I got the titanium lug nuts, and it's like I could bash those things on the ground, and it's hard to get them to start even showing any kind of wear.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, again, we got an entry from Jay Brazelton, it looks like. So he's in for 2 entries. If you guys want to get this, like I said, we'll run this for as long as I have to, but we're gonna have to make a certain amount before I can give these away since it's coming out of my personal collection.
And you said 2.5 pounds. People, guys, like the stock lug nuts weigh 5 pounds.
Yeah,
it's half the weight.
Yep.
Okay, I'm like, it's not 2.5 pounds off. Like the stock, I've weighed them. I've done it twice. 5 pounds. This titanium was with 2.5. It's huge, huge.
Yeah, and that is a big deal off of unsprung weight. So I know 2.5 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. It is.
It's a lot.
Yeah, Red C806 says, weren't your GM lug nuts under warranty? Yes, they were. And when I took them in to get them replaced, they were going to replace them. The problem is they're going to do the same thing again. So I got them replaced, but now they're just sitting in a box because I'm not going to use them. They're really heavy, first off, and second, they're just going to get rusty again. Yeah, Protective Dad Prank says he has the titanium lug nuts with his Forged Light wheels, and they look amazing and light. And yet, that's it.
Yep.
They look good.
Yep.
And they perform well.
Right there.
Oh, and here comes Charles. Charles coming in with the
up,
donation of the night. He's in for $200, so he is in for 10, 20, 30, 40 entries. So Charles is the guy to beat at this point, guys. We got Jay in with 2 entries and Charles in with 40.
And you can do that 10 seconds 06. You can have those shipped to the museum and they will put them on for your delivery. There you go. And actually, we're doing manifolds for museum deliveries now. So if anybody's getting a Z06 and email me, I got you.
How are you doing that? Someone down there actually setting that up. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. That's freaking amazing. Holy crap.
Sir. I know.
Yeah.
Moving and shaking, baby.
I do remember that, and that was unfortunate. And that actually had nothing to do with the lug nuts. That was a wheel spacer. Charles has half the wheel, yeah. At this point, Charles has more like 95% of it. But guys, again, let's do this with the we can do Venmo. You can do the super chats right here. Regardless of however you enter, I want to make sure we're getting as many entries in on this as possible. The titanium lug nuts are really a thing of beauty. David has them on a C8 Z06. I have a set for him for his C6 Z06 as well. It's really, if you care about your car, if you want it, if you care about that, like squeezing every bit of performance out of it, this is one of those things that people don't think about. You're dropping the weight off, and it's keeping it nice. So form and function is a great thing.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
so Jay's in for another 100 now.
The other thing I like about them is even if you have the GM black ones, the GM black ones are bulkier this way. They have more girth.
Yeah.
I said girth. They have more girth to them.
Say, Steve, you better get him.
Steve is all over that one. For one night for me to say something, Steve is in the chat.
Exactly.
They look better with the wheel because they're smaller diameter, Steve.
Yeah.
Diameter.
Girth. All right, so Jay Brazelton just threw another $100 at it. He throws a challenge out to Charles. He says, "Let's play, Charles," because he just zelled $100. So, yeah, here's New Horizon. He's like, you said girth.
The one night Steve is in the chat. Thank you.
How about Gordon? Gordon, do you have a set of titanium lug nuts? I feel like you're a man that could appreciate that titanium lug nuts. Professor Corvette is a water-based tire shine used on the giveaway wheel. I thought he was legitimately asking what tire shine I use for a second.
There's Steve chiming right in. Yes, sir.
He's like, hello, Garth. Seawolf Z06 has titanium lug nuts on a Z06. They are awesome. I agree.
They are awesome. And I can't wait to get them for this car too, because this car's already light. Nope. It came with me in it. It came in at 3,318 pounds or something.
Which one's
with
that?
Me in it. My C6. So I can't wait to get even more light. Yeah. 3,300.
Gordon Cruz says he does not have the lug nuts yet. Well, Gordon, you could possibly win them here tonight. So, yeah, check it out.
And whoever wins gets I'll throw in a T-shirt. How's that? Justin? Why not?
There you go. Get a free T-shirt.
There you go, man. Free T-shirt.
Sean says, hopefully titanium and magnesium don't react against each other. Well, I'm living proof.
Magnesium's coated.
Yeah, magnesium has a special coating on it, but I'm living proof that as of right now they don't. I've had mine on and off, and there's been no problems. with my magnesium wheels. So all good there. But just like David said, the magnesium wheels are coated with a special coating to make sure that they don't corrode anyway. So Jay Browserton says, jump in, Gordon. The water's warm. Let's do what we can with the giveaway tonight, guys. Like I said, it can be for a C6, C7, or C8. Because those are two different style of lug nuts, but I have both of them on hand. So, yeah, it does. Just like Charles said, it helps the channel. So if you're interested in it, you can definitely win a set for less than what you would pay normally. So free t-shirt, they pay the shipping.
No, I take care of it.
It's 9 seconds ZR1. Who is that? Is that Bill? Is that Bill Miller?
I think it's Steven, because he's the only 9 second ZR1 that's out there right now. Like
yeah. You're right. Somebody changed their name. I don't know who that is now.
Equal supercharged D-Ray. I actually typed in the chat earlier.
Oh, and he didn't answer?
No, I don't think so. I was looking for it.
Yeah, Ricky, I got your entry from last week, so you're in for one entry. Cameron Thompson is now in for an entry as well.
Well, Charles is back in for the DBM shirt. Look, Charles, I'll send you one if we got you.
Cameron's in for one entry. And Charles is in for two more entries. So Charles is leading the pack right now with 42. 42 entries, that is. So if you guys want to get in on it, that's a beautiful thing, Charles. Thank you, Cameron, for your donation. You guys are awesome as always.
Yep.
Gordon says he's trying to get the Venmo link to work.
Since you gave that 20 specifically for the shirt, like just type in the chat what size you are. I'll just make sure I ship one to you anyway. It's fine, and the winner will get one too. So,
I can type in the Venmo link for you, Gordon. That way you can just click on it and off you go. Let me set it up here.
Thanks, Becca. I think people think I work for a Blackout, even though we don't have Blackout here in Atlanta, because I wear those shirts all the time that you guys gave me. All the time. They fit so great.
There's the link. You might be able to just touch on that, Gordon, and head right out. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I wear Blackout shirts all the time too. A lot of times I'll wear Blackout shirts to Blackout, and like I don't really realize what I'm doing until a customer walks up to me and they start talking to me about their car. And I'm like, I don't actually work here.
Dude, I had your the takeover shirt on when I went to the track with Steven and forgot I even had it on that day. Like it was literally, I didn't wear it for the video. I didn't wear it for nothing. I just forgot I had it because I had it on. I was like, oh, well, all right, there we go. HPO at the track. Yeah, no problem, Charles. And it's funny because now we have multiple plaids we can race. Nate's got one. Nate picked up a plaid, by the way.
That's cool. 9 seconds 01. Yeah. I need to know who you are. Are you Steven or are you Bill Miller? I can't tell based on the image and the name.
Right.
It literally could be either one of those two. It may not even be either one of those two. So I need to know what your actual name is so I can put you in for the $20 though.
That's funny.
That is. I feel like we're meeting new friends.
Well, the other day, Steven paused his Instagram for a minute, and I thought maybe he was changing his name. But he didn't. He came back with Supercharged E-Ray.
Yeah, Nate, I'll get you in for those two tonight since I owe you one. Nate wants some titanium lug nuts. He's gonna get 2 entries because I forgot to put him in on one in the past. 10 seconds Z06. Now we got a 10 seconds Z06 and a 9 seconds ZR1. I feel like these two are related.
We're going to need an 8 second ZR1X when Steven gets hit.
He says, Justin, that's how I felt wearing your HPO shirt at the booth at Carlisle. Yeah. People are like, hey, are you that guy?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Professor Corvette said the same thing about his NCM Polo.
Exactly. It was funny today when I was talking to the guy here when I was running that errand for you. And he was like, yeah, Justin, he's like, the guy with the hair.
The hair, yes. I love it. Oh, man, that's good stuff.
The guy with the hair. I was like, yes, that's him.
Oh, sweet Jesus. I like it. I was thinking it was Bill, too.
He's been a subscriber since COVID, dude. 5 years.
Yeah. That's a long that's like right around the time that I got my ZR1 is that was the car that like pushed him to get a C7 Z06.
And he told me specifically, like he remembered, and I told him too. I was like, "Yeah, that's." I mean, I'd been following you for. Well, that's when I really got into it. Was when you picked up the ZR1.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Yeah," but he's like, "Well, I've been following the channel." And to me, you know, I'm small potatoes. Like when people he's like, "And you're on the channel all the time." Like when people recognize me, it's still weird. But like he was like, "Oh yeah, horsepower says you got here and the C7 ZR1."
I told you when we were looking to
That's
make those shirts, like the outline of like an outline of our head, like I would have the crazy hair and the sunglasses. It's like that's literally what people recognize me as right now, is the dude with the hair. He said
the crazy hair and the C701.
Yeah.
That's two things.
So Professor Corvette actually brings up a good question. He says, so when is the ZR1X configurator coming? And the answer to that, guys, smash the thumbs up, by the way. We got a couple more things to talk about tonight, so let's make those thumbs up happen. But the answer to the answer to the ZR1X configurator is actually I think what's going to end up happening here is they're going to wait to put that configurator out until everybody knows what the options are. And like I told you guys, the ZR1X has a new aero option coming with the secondary dive planes on top of the major, the first set of dive planes. Now that's what I know is coming. On top of that could very well be a different shaped splitter, like we were just talking about earlier, maybe a slightly bigger splitter. I don't know about that part. But the dive planes are definitely coming. There's going to be 2 sets of dive planes and that extra little strake, or what they call it, the spat, on the inside of the front fender well. So those 2 things are definitely coming. But we could potentially see bigger front splitters, bigger, maybe even some different style stuff. I mean, one of the big things that RSC sells that I think is awesome is the full length Z06 side skirts. Every time someone sees my car, the first thing that they say, I mean, I got this giant wing and this big splitter, and the first thing they goes, "Are those side skirts stock?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, they should all be like that because they're full length." And it's like, it just looks more finished. Like whenever I took it up to blackout tinting to Aaron to have him PPF them, he's like, "Oh, those full length." And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "That's 100% how it should be." And I'm like, I know.
And it carries over from previous generations, right? C6 full length, right? C7 full length.
Yep.
You know,
well, C7 did 3/4 length towards the end in like 19 on a transport. Yep. Gordon Cruz, I got you in. He's actually going to be leading the pack now, guys. Gordon is in for, let me see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. He's going to have 50 entries.
There you go, Gordon. Appreciate the support, buddy.
I really do, Gordon. Thank you. I had a feeling.
And Gordon,
I could tell by the profile picture of his YouTube channel, he is a guy that appreciates titanium lug nuts.
Oh yeah. Well, he's just such a good dude, man. Like I've talked to him multiple times, but like he's just very supportive of everything we do. He's a really, really great guy, man.
Definitely. And yes, Professor Corvette, he has got this right. He says, himself and I remain the only sources on YouTube that pronounce electrochromic correctly. Now, I will admit you are the one that told me about it, but ever since you told me, I noticed the spelling of it is in fact electrochromic and not electrochromatic, which is what everybody else says. It's interesting that everybody else says it that way because it's very obviously spelled electrochromic. And you'd think that the people, especially that deal with it daily, dealers, would see that they're saying it wrong. But yeah.
Well, one thing I was thinking about the other day, I missed Mr. T just because I could pronounce his name. That made me look really good. Like I really, for that reason, I mean, he still comments on stuff and I still get comments from him, but like I miss him being in the chat so much because literally just rattle it off. Oh,
I know. Dude, the very first time you did it, I was like, oh my God, this guy is he's a rocket scientist. I didn't know.
Yeah, you were probably like, this redneck's smarter than he looks.
Well, no, the very first time you did it, I was like, wait a minute, what did you just say? And you said it again, and I was like,
I remember that.
You know how to pronounce that? Because he's been in the chat he's been on the channel since the beginning.
Ever.
And I've never been able to say his name.
Yeah, I thought I said my car design.
All right. I'll take your word
You're
for it.
like,
I mean,
yeah,
you could be completely BSing me, and I'd have no way of knowing because I don't know how to
right
pronounce
now
it
I
anyway.
could, yeah, because he's not in here.
All right, so guys, we got enough entries that we're going to be giving away. We will give away the lug nuts tonight. So if you guys want a chance
And a
at these
t-shirt.
things, and a T-shirt. Whoever wins is going to get a free T-shirt from David as well. So if you want to get in on the giveaway, guys, keep the entries coming. Do we still not know the name of this person? Or are they purposely not telling us?
I think so. We're getting trolled. Seawolf says with you, he thinks it's Bill Miller.
I'm pretty sure it's the same icon as Bill's.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he would have changed his name on there. I'm about to call him. I'm going to call him live on the video here. But Bill, if that's you.
Yeah, Aaron says the same thing. He thinks it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Texas Clay, what's
Becca,
up, man?
I got to hear the rest of the story about we got to hear this. Becca,
What?
I'll touch base with you on that. She's talking about, I think the lugs about you panicking or something like that. No, at the store. That's what it is. She did. Okay, I got you. I'm following you now, Becca. When you said about the shirt and people coming to get you, she's like, Justin just panics and it's me.
Yeah.
Smart.
I just go,
Becca.
I just look at him and I say, you know what? I don't work here.
Yeah. Becca.
Yeah, that person does though.
Exactly.
Should we call on a live stream? I call Bill right now and see if it's him.
That'd be freaking hilarious.
It would be kind of funny, but my luck is something crazy will be going on and I won't be able to edit that out. Like I don't. You never know with Bill Miller. Like, yeah, exactly. International man of mystery here, with John Perkins says.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, honestly, whoever it is, they're going to put $20 in. He said, and if you put $20 in, I need to know your name.
It's going to show up. You need to know, or you aren't going to get. If you win, watch they'll win too, and then they'll have to.
Yeah,
that would only be the best.
It's one of the two. It has to be.
Yeah.
There we go. Mark Cutsey says he fixes all the answers for you guys. He says magnesium wheels with titanium lugs will create a chemical reaction that will produce carbon ceramic rotors for you. Perfect.
There you go, guys. If only.
Yeah, there it is. Professor Corvette says, is Bill Miller actually DB Cooper? Oh, man, I love you. Professor Corvette, you're too much.
Professor Corvette wins the comments here every week, man.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
awesome.
Ricky says that he's Ricky. Just put his entries to him. I heard Ricky is a super cool dude.
Yeah, Ricky's a super great guy. I like Ricky. He changed the name hoping to get a ZR1, so probably Bill.
That has to be Bill then. I was going to say it can't be Steven. Steven already has one.
I
did notice a comment earlier, but it didn't say who he was. So it's got to be Bill. It's the same profile picture and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Bill, if that is you, I still haven't gotten $20 in Venmo. So, yeah, guys, again, titanium lug nuts for the giveaway tonight. Make sure you get in on the entries. They will be given away tonight. So, go ahead and continue with the entries. But let's talk a little bit more news. So we talked about the fact that the ZR1, the C8 ZR1, almost beats a Demon 170 at the drag strip. And of course, the Demon 170 doesn't even come close to beating the ZR1 on an actual racetrack. So again, we're talking about a car that can kind of do it all. Now, what's really interesting is this is a Dodge Demon, but this is a Dodge Demon versus a C7 ZR1 in a roll race. David already kind of called what was going to happen here, but I want to show you guys anyway. Just so we're all on the same page, we got to get some good feelings out of the Corvette here. So watch this.
1, 2, 3.
That's a little bit better. So it walks past the Demon 170. Or sorry, that's just the Demon. But either way,
but from a dig on a track and it's prepped, that's what that car's built for. You roll racing, track, anywhere else, I don't care what you're gonna get walked.
Yep.
You're gonna get walked.
So one interesting bit of news here. I Actually, let me check the comments here.
Professor Corvette, you almost had me. You never even had your car. I had to do it. There were no stoplights in that video. Yeah, exactly.
Almost isn't a word in the vocabulary.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Professor Corvette, whenever I get my ZR1, I'll make sure that there's some racing that happens that I will only accept against cars I know I can beat. Exactly. See, a Corvette won. Nice. The C7 ZR1 beats it. Honestly, the C8 ZR1 would beat it in a roll race as well. So yeah. Chris Kurtz says C7 ZR1 is king. It is technically called the king. But
it is technically the king.
Yeah, don't sleep on a C7 on a roll. They are fast. They are. They're quick cars. There's no doubt about it. The C7 and C8, hands down.
I was gonna say even their Z06s, like don't sleep on a C7 Z06, man, because even the like pulley tuned, cold air ones, they move, man. They're quick.
Horseshoes and hand grenades on
That's right, horseshoes and hand grenades.
So an interesting piece of news here, guys. Again, smash the thumbs up button. We're not even at 100 yet. That's disappointing, but let's smash the thumbs up. Interesting bit of news I saw pop up on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum is the 2026 Corvette Z06 being dropped from the model lineup in Australia and New Zealand. This was kind of interesting timing because I just saw a video, a review being done of an Australian Z06, and the guy behind the wheel, of course, is driving a right-hand drive Z06, but they don't have the center exit exhaust. They have the outboard exhaust because of their emissions over there. They can't have the center exit exhaust basically, and because of that, it doesn't sound quite the same. It doesn't have that screaming flat plane crank sound, and it also drops like 20 or so horsepower. So it's kind of, neutered might not be the right word, but it's tamed. And I just saw that review, and then on the heels of that, I see that in 2026 GM they're not going to be shipping them overseas anymore. Well, to those two countries at least, and I have a feeling this is only the beginning. I personally am okay with this, because I've always kind of been of the mindset that, this is just like the title or the thumbnail says, this is kind of America's car or America's sports car. Right. Why are we shipping it overseas anyway? And especially since I've talked to a couple people, one of them actually from Australia, that told me he has a Z06 and it cost him over $400,000 to get that car there, because of the import fees and all this other stuff. And it's like, you could almost buy 4 of those cars here for that price. And he's paying $400,000 just to get a right-hand drive car over in Australia. I think there's a couple things happening here. I think GM, number one, realizes there isn't a huge demand for this. But number two,
it's not
the cost is just through the, even if there was a demand, no one's going to do it at that cost. So it kind of doesn't make sense to have a different production for right-hand drive version of this car versus just producing them and selling them here in the States. So I think this is going to be kind of the start of the end for that. I think the C8 in general, you're not going to see many of these getting exported anymore. Not that there was ever a whole bunch to begin with, but there's going to be even less.
Very likely. When you did your plant tours, I know you've done more than one, but when you did your plant tours, did you see any right-hand drives? We saw a few coming down the line, which was crazy, because I was like, because even the guy was like, oh, look, a right-hand drive car. At that time, I guess I kind of was like, oh yeah, every now and then want to roll down, but I guess it's really not as common as you would think, especially with that. So I'd like to look those numbers up. Google that tonight.
Yeah, Sean, that's a good point. I actually just saw that video too. That was today. I saw that video where he says that it might be because of the tariffs as well. He just saw a video where the Z06 with a Z07 package was over 208,000 pounds, and I saw that video too, because he mentions that the same car in the States is roughly $30,000 less or so. And again, that's on the low end of all this, because like I told you, one of my subscribers actually said in Australia, at least, he was at $400,000 to get that car imported. So the tariffs could have something to do with this, I guess, because again, it's going to the price of everything's going to go even higher if you're importing this into a certain country. So
yeah. And if you're trade with like a Germany or somebody else, your 911 GT3 money, if you can get a 911 GT3 into the country cheaper than a Z06, you're going to go that route.
Yep. Todd says, new Stingray owner, best high flow cat that does not cause check engine light. Thanks. You're going to want to be Soul Performance. So even on the Stingray, Soul Performance's cats don't throw check engine lights, from what I understand, but their Z06 ones definitely don't. I'm at almost 1,500 miles now on mine since I put those cats on. Still no check engine light. And another thing I noticed, it wasn't just the check engine light, David. It was actually with the black car, I would get like a weird stumbling on cold startups every now and then. It would be totally random, and the car would just like kind of stumble and like almost like it was. I wouldn't say misfiring because that's not what it was, but it was like it was just like, it was like a stumble that would go away once it warmed up, and it never threw misfire code, but it almost felt like that.
Wow.
And these
honestly,
cats
that's
don't
the only
do
one
that.
I've seen so far. If yours, this generation of Soul that you have, if yours isn't throwing codes, it's the only one I've seen so far. Because even the previous generation Souls, they threw the codes. All of them, Fab Speed, they all do. The Cat Delete certainly do, but like they all throw codes, man.
Yep. Texas Clay says he just saw a Borla exhaust commercial on Monday Night Football. Go figure. All of these things are listening to us. So if you mention anything about exhaust, or if it hears me talking about cats and exhaust and all this stuff, it's going to do
it. Darren, I actually do have a DBM Racing poster of my C606 that I had made right over there.
What poster?
It's hang on. It's too much. I'll show you next week. But
I was gonna say,
when I had the first photo shoot done, it's like sitting at an old like abandoned gas station, and it like has DBM Racing across the top of it.
That's cool. Yeah.
There's nothing back here. Like on one wall, I have all my C8 stuff, and on this wall, I'm putting all my C8 stuff on. So
Ricky says it was probably adjusting the timing on a cold start. I don't know, because my new one doesn't do it. I think it was an issue with the cats. Now I know for a fact it was an issue with the cats towards the end, because the cap that I had for those adjustable jets were at, that cap kept coming off, and whenever that cap would come off, I had basically a hole in the cat, and it would do it real bad on those starts before I knew that cap came off.
And this is not like previous generation cars. This car's running dual wideband, so it's running widebands as it starts. So if you are having something with the cat like that, it will, run rough for a while before it kind of smooths itself out, because it's continuously monitoring and adding fuel timing and all those things. So continuously,
Charles asks if there's any news on the group buy with AWE. Yes, there is. We're working on the percentages right now. It's not going to be actually officially called a group buy, but it's going to be something that only dealers can do, and I am an AWE dealer. So I'm working on the percentages right now to see what I can get, but it looks like it is going to go through. So if you guys are interested in getting a discount off of an AWE exhaust for your car, we're going to be doing something that's similar to a group buy. And if you haven't given me your name through my email yet and you want to do that, now's the time. I'm going to be putting it together probably this week. So I need you, if you email me, horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com, I need your name and what car you're going to be getting an exhaust for, because I'm going to be starting into this here really soon.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, AWE is awesome. So again, guys, RSC is the sponsor of the video for the entire month of October. Their ZR1.1 wings are out. That's what they call these, the ZR1.1, because while it is very similar to the actual ZR1 wing, it is slightly smaller. And when I say slightly, I mean really very slightly, but it's smaller in all the right ways. It looks better on the car, like David said, than the actual ZR1 wing. In my opinion, the proportions are more correct. But either way, regardless of how you want to look at it, these are in stock. If you call and mention HPO, you'll get the best possible price as well. So definitely check these out. RSC's been really great to work with. They have awesome quality carbon fiber. Obviously, I've put their parts on 2 of my cars now. Obviously, there's something to this. I would definitely not be putting this on my car if they were not fantastic quality. And even David has 2 pieces now from RSC on his car.
Yep. Yeah, I'm waiting. Every time I hear about the side skirts, they're always out of stock. Always. They sell so fast. Like as soon as I get them in there, gone.
And that's going to be these wings too. I know how many he got, and odds are good. they're going to be gone pretty quick. So if you want one of those wings, get in as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, I don't know about Justin New Horizon, but I haven't heard anything
Yeah,
from Borla.
no, I was just going to say that. New Horizon is asking, hey, Justin, slightly off topic, but have you heard anything about the Borla for the Z06? I've been getting crickets on my end. That's the same thing I've heard, man. And it's crazy that it's taken this long and there still isn't an answer. If I had to guess, that tells me that the answer is that there is no answer. And it will stay that way. Odds are good. It's probably not even going to happen at this point. It's been, what, 2 years now?
Yep.
New Horizon, you should jump in on the group by the AWE, man. I'm telling you, you'll love the sound of it. It's a great sound exhaust.
Yeah, and I've run others, and I've seen people of courses. I've also run Paragon. Like the sound on the AW is amazing, but those tips and the way they build them, it's the best one out there. Sorry, it is.
Guys, smash the thumbs up button. Really helps. We have a little bit more information to talk about. We also have a giveaway to complete. So if you guys want to get in on the titanium lug nut giveaway, C6, C7, or C8, you can super chat $10 or for an entry, or $50 or more, double entries. And you can use Venmo as well, or even Zelle.
Yep.
Oh, Professor Corvette says, it must be hard for a cricket to be a stand-up comedian. Oh,
where
God.
does it come from? It's amazing.
I've never actually even thought about making that kind of reference. And the fact that he does, and it's just like supernatural to him.
I know.
Like,
It's amazing. That's his superpower.
Yeah, Carlos, if you're interested,
Absolutely,
send me an email, because I'm working with the percentages off right now. But even at full price, the Z06 exhaust is like $3,800, I think, which is significantly cheaper than almost everybody else's exhaust on the market. So,
and it literally is the best side. You can put it with some sport cats too.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I agree. Professor Corvette says, is it possible to get all of Patrick's cleaning fluids and tools with 1 or 2 clicks? Would be easier than finding them all individually. It's interesting that you mentioned this, because I'm toying with the idea of actually putting together a nice package of detail sprays, ceramic boost spray, and stuff, like just sprays that I use personally on the car that are expel PPF safe. And I'm doing it in a bottle, a real high-end nice bottle that literally has like stainless steel nozzles and stuff on it. Is that something that would be interesting to anybody outside of Professor Corvette? Like, would you guys be interested in having a real nice bottle with fluids that are literally approved on expel PPF, and just something that might be branded HPO? Like, I'm just curious if this is something you guys would be interested in, because I think I want to do it, and I've already priced it out in a way that would make sense. We'll see.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I do, with you owning a PPF shop.
Yeah.
Like, as far as that goes, it's not like you're just making shit up and grabbing like dish soap or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, these are actual products that have been tested with expel. So.
Exactly. Because that was the one thing, like because I have plenty of like ceramic boost, whatever, and I've used Adams before, but when I went and took my car down to your shop and got it done, I made sure I bought the aftercare and the ceramic boost and all that stuff specifically for the expel before I left. And again, when I redo this one, that's what's going with. So
yeah.
Ricky,
where I'm at with this is there's a lot of markets or a lot of detail sprays, ceramic boost sprays, iron fallout, the sprays that I use on a regular basis. There's a lot of options out there. And the problem is that not all of them have been confirmed to work with expel PPF in a way that isn't a problem. And
that was my point.
Yeah, and that's the biggest point here, is that the fluids I would be using have been tested and are guaranteed safe, so you're not damaging warranty or anything on ceramic coating or PPF from expel, and it's stuff that I personally use. So it's not so much that I want to throw a bunch of different names out there for you. I want something that's going to be in a nice bottle, branded HPO, and it's going to be fluid that has been tested.
And it only makes sense because it's guaranteed to be safe for the expel. You you deal in only in XPEL. I mean, you have XPEL on all your cars, all
Yep.
your vehicles. It only makes it. Yeah, that's a no brainer, man. That's a
Yep.
no brainer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be in
All right.
100%.
I'm gonna start doing it because the biggest thing for me was the bottles that I can get are like stainless steel nozzles. They're real nice triggers to use. Like it's better than just the plastic nozzles you'd get normally attached to a bottle. So
Right. Yeah, because I mean the bottles themselves for the XPEL stuff are just basic generic
yeah,
whatever, and then Felipe's like, here, take like 8 nozzles.
exactly. Because
You know, like,
you're gonna end up going through them anyway. You drop that
that's
bottle
exactly.
once,
You're gonna
it's
break
done.
them. Here, take 8 nozzles, and I was like, okay, because you break the nozzles, but if you have the higher quality nozzle,
Yep.
you can just take it off, put it on your next bottle, take it off, put it on your next bottle.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah,
I
Professor
like that
Corvette.
with the system.
The stuff he uses is pretty similar. The biggest thing really is that he gets different deals because he doesn't work directly with Expel, so he doesn't use a lot of their stuff because he gets better deals elsewhere. Not anything against what he's doing or anything, but I personally think the products that I would use would be slightly different than the stuff he uses. All accomplishing the exact same thing, just on a safer level with PPF, especially.
Right.
And yeah,
And I
exactly. MGM says I won't cut corners, and that's why he likes watching the channel. It's quality or nothing. That's 100% it. Like when it comes to
exactly.
cars, especially my cars, like they're basically my baby. So if I'll do hours upon hours of research to find the best detail spray, like that's just the way I do it.
Well, and I was just going to say that exact same thing a little bit differently in that you invest in the PPF for your car. It's not a cheap investment, but
Right.
it's worth it. And you want to do why would you cheap out on the detail stuff? To be honest with you, like I was saying before, like that is the biggest thing. Because I've used Adams forever. Adams is Corvette Museum approved.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it. They have great products, whatever else. But when I switched over to the Expel, even though they're like, oh yeah, it's safe for Expel, I still switched to the Expel brand stuff because Expel made it. And
Exactly.
Expel's like, yes, completely fine.
And
You're okay.
that's exactly what my head's been with it. Is it's like
Yep.
if Expel's making it and they're saying yeah, it's good for their products, you know it's good for their product. You know what I mean? Like they're making it specifically to work with their product. And yeah, Expel is not cheap. If you're putting it on your car, it's kind of an investment. You should be taking care of it with products that are built for it. But and even
and if anybody saw, yeah, exactly. And if anybody saw my C6 at Carlisle, it had just been done by Justin's shop with the PPF and the ceramic coat and all that stuff. Dude, lights out. And all I did every day was put the ceramic boost when I had to dry the morning or some detail spray. That's it, dude. It looked amazing. Still does. But yeah.
yeah, and Becca said that Expel's starting to majorly crack down on warranty stuff too. And I know when this was first coming down the pipeline, I talked to somebody pretty high up in Expel. I don't, I'm not the kind of guy to name drop, but really high up in Expel, we talked a lot about why they were starting to deny warranties, and it was because certain ceramic coatings on the market were acidic, and they were starting to literally pit the top coat of the Expel PPF. And when that was happening, it was happening because it was other companies' ceramic coatings, not Expel's, on top of Expel PPF. Expel can't test every ceramic coating out there to tell you, yeah, this one works or that one doesn't. Instead, it was easier for them to just blanket statement it. If you don't have Expel ceramic coating on top of the film, it's going to be denied if there's a problem with the ceramic coating.
Right. And again, why cheap out? Like a lot of us,
Right.
some of you guys, you daily drive your that's great, whatever else. But like, honestly, my Centennial is gonna, I'll drive it, but it's gonna be garage kept. Other than that, and I want the full 10 years out of the warranty on it.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
I paid to invest in it. I did it's a one-time investment. If I just keep up with the Expel products, I got 10 years before I have to worry about anything.
Yep.
Done.
And Sean said that he used the Maxwell. I'll be honest with you, I've never even heard of this product, but he said he used it on his Expel coating and it didn't really work that well. However, it works great on the rest of his cars that did not have a ceramic coating. Now, again, there is a ceramic boost product from Expel that is specifically to go on top of their ceramic coatings, and that works really well. And that's one of the products that I use.
That was on my C6 at Carlisle, and it looked like glass. It was unbelievable.
So one thing I wanted to ask you guys, the main point of this video was whether or not you think that the Corvette is America's sports car. I would go as far to say America's supercar. Do you think
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just waiting for a breath to say that, and you took it. It's not America. It is America's sports car. Now it's America's supercar, and with the ZR1 and the ZR1X, it's America's hypercar. Mic drop, and that's it.
I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with the hypercar thing. I don't know if I can.
You don't think a 1X is going to be a hypercar?
No. I would say supercar all day long for anything Z06 and up. But I think hypercar or what's above a hypercar? What do they call that?
Too rich for me.
Yeah, like Koenigsegg's would be, I can't remember the term that they use for it now. But it's like,
I can't remember.
Either way, I feel like the hypercar stuff is reserved for cars like a Koenigsegg or something, where it's like there's literally one or two of these things that exist. To me, that's a hypercar.
So based on exclusivity, not necessarily just straight performance.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think supercar has been one of those terms that has been thrown around so often and so loosely that there really isn't a clear definition of what makes a supercar. Other than it's got to be fast and it's got to look cool. Like that's pretty much it. And to me, that's the C8 Z06 and up at least. Now there is a production number in there sometimes. I'll see it thrown in. Well, it's got to have low production. That's not even always the definition of the supercar. It's only sometimes when people decide they want to put it in there. So with all of that said, unless the ZR1X is got a really limited production, which I don't think it's going to, if it did, then yeah, it would be a hypercar. But I'm thinking it's just going to sit in the same category as supercar, which I'm okay with.
Yep. And actually, I'm man enough to walk it back. NBA Live just brought something up that 100% I stand corrected. He said the Hennessy F5 Venom with the 2,000 horsepower is America's hypercar. Yes, sir. You are correct. That is and it's like more the exotic, like the limited. There's how many Venoms exist. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I agree. There you go.
Yeah, and Robert Brunn says that the ZR1 is a hypercar slayer. I would agree with that too. But I don't think it. I mean, I've been an advocate for calling the Corvette a supercar since the C7 Z06. I think that's to me that's whenever the car started to get to that point. The C7 ZR1 definitely. The C8 Stingray, the C8 Z06, ZR1, ZR1X. These are supercars. There's just no way around it. I mean, you got the performance of a supercar, you got the look of a supercar. Oftentimes, I said this in my C8 Z06 review once, where I actually had a person come up to me and say that my car looked more like a Ferrari than that Ferrari, and he pointed at a 488. Right. And it's like, I looked at him and I started laughing. I was like, you're right. Like I never even thought about that, but the car just has styling of a supercar, more so than some supercars.
Exactly. And I'll take you back. Performance numbers wise, I'll take you back a little further because we have to put it into context of when these cars were produced and what else was out there. I say the supercar Corvette transition happened C6, Z06, C6, certainly the ZR1. From a performance standpoint,
the only reason I say no,
murdering things.
The only reason I don't agree, and I know this is going to be probably a little bit of a sting for a guy who owns a C6, but
I don't give
shit. It's literally the interior is the only reason I think the C6 falls short of that supercar status.
And that is a valid point and a point that
performance wise and everything, you're 100% right.
But that is the big, like all the Beamer guys, all the Porsche guys, even though they were just lighting up Porsches and killing them at the tracks,
right?
It didn't matter because that was the one answer that the Corvette guy didn't have. When they're like, yeah, but your interior is plastic, looks like crap, and it was. It's cheap. Now this was a little different.
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah.
But still, that is the one dig that you could not fight until the C7 started to come in.
The C7 literally only existed to fix that problem. That was the only reason that car exists.
And it did. It fixed it very much so.
It did.
For sure.
It did. And then the C8 just compounded on top of that. But
oh yeah.
Yeah. And 10 seconds Z06 says that it's only a supercar if it says supercar on the oil.
There you go.
I'll tell you what. The Camaro ZL1 and the ZL1 1LE, they say supercar on the tires.
They do say supercar on it. It's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, plastic is pretty light. That's the one thing
I
nobody
think
seems to get.
I
Like,
made
oh
a
yeah,
couple of
your
cracks in
interior's
some of,
all plastic. Yeah, but it's light, dude. Like
well, and I've made a couple of cracks in some of my videos where I said it's the super exotic material we call plastic.
ABS.
Plastic.
Yeah.
So,
So over at the hotcars.com, which I've had issues with this website in the past, but over at the hotcars.com website, this is the article that they bring up. It says, opinion. The Chevrolet Corvette is more American than the Ford Mustang. Now, when I first read this, I was like, yeah. When was this ever in doubt? But apparently this was in doubt. Apparently the American sports car, according to this article, was at some point the Ford Mustang, which makes no sense because the Mustang's not a sports car. It's
right, it's a muscle car.
It's a muscle car or a pony car, whatever you want to call it. It's not a sports
Right,
car.
exactly.
So anyway, this is, like I said, I've had problems with this website with stuff like this in the past. But the reason he goes on to say why he thinks that the Corvette should be dubbed the American sports car. And there's a couple good reasons in here, but of course we already know a lot of these. The Corvette's assembled at one dedicated U.S. plant. Even though some of the parts come from overseas, it's built here, which is pretty, you kind of need that. The Bowling Green assembly plant, it really doesn't get much more American than when you take a tour of that plant. Like it's pretty American in there. Says analysts put the Corvette ahead. A lot of third-party analysts such as Cars.com show that the Corvette ranks higher in the American-made index than Ford Mustang. I would agree with that. There's something about the Corvette that just screams America. And
Yeah.
I don't get that same feeling from Ford or even from the Camaro. Like, obviously, they're both made here too, but it's like I don't get the same feeling about those cars as I do the Corvette. I feel like the Corvette really is America's sports car, but specifically, again, those two cars aren't even sports cars. So I don't know why those are even in the running here.
Yeah, and it's weird because it never was, like you said, sports car versus muscle car, pony car, whatever. It never was ever in the history of Mustang and Corvette. It was always Mustang Camaro, Mustang Camaro,
Yeah.
Mustang Camaro,
Right.
or Trans Am. It was never Mustang Corvette. Corvette was always Corvette, Mercedes, Corvette,
Yeah.
Porsche, Corvette, BMW,
Corvette, Porsche mostly. I mean,
Yes,
Chevy chased
yes.
Porsche for years, starting with the C4. They went the C4, C5, C6, and C7 were all very closely developed from chasing Porsche's 50-50 weight balance.
Yep.
And then they achieved it with the C7, and they were like, throw it out the window. Let's do C8, where all the weight's in the rear. It was kind of an odd decision, if you ask me, because once they hit the perfect 50-50 weight distribution, they were just like, get rid of it. But
Right.
I do think the Corvette doesn't really have a good... I know I'm going to regret saying this as soon as I say this, but the Corvette doesn't really have a good American rivalry. Like, there's not another car that's made
Exactly.
here that really rivals the Corvette.
That's what I was saying with the Mustang Camaro,
Yeah.
Mustang Trans Am, Mustang Firebird. It was that, and even like all the older muscle cars, like back in the day, there was never something that. The only thing that was in like the SCCA and like some of like the smaller racing circuits, not the big ones, or even that was the Shelbys, the 427 Shelbys or Shelby SCs. When Carroll Shelby was actually building those,
right.
not the new Mustangs that are
Right.
Shelbys, but the actual AC Cobras. And that really wasn't American per se, because the bodies came from Europe, from Britain actually. So the AC Cobra bodies came from Britain, and then Shelby would put the motor in them. But that was where it was the AC Cobras versus the Corvettes in all the racing circuits, the twisties. That's what it was. It wasn't Mustangs, it wasn't Camaros, it wasn't that. It was literally Corvette versus the Shelbys.
Yeah.
That was where it was.
And for a long time, the Corvette has been dubbed the working man's, supercar, the working man, sports car, whatever, which just so happens to be the working man it's another way of saying America. Like those are the guys who make America, America. So again, I think the reason that this is said and that this is discussed so often is because there really isn't a direct competition for Corvette, at least in America.
Unless you're talking about the one-offs, the limited, like the
Yeah,
GTD or some
right.
stuff like that. Then you're like, okay.
Well,
You
even
know,
still, the
somebody took a
GTD
Mustang.
is a cool car, but it
Right.
is a one off, and it's still a muscle car. That's still not a sports car. It doesn't matter how you cut it. When the cars are built like they are, and it carries the name Mustang. So I mean, right off the bat, that's not a sports car.
Well, so does the Mach-E.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what I'd call that.
Sorry, I
Jesus.
had to throw that
Yeah.
in there, Nate. Sorry, I had to do it, man. But you're right on that too. Like again, but it's not a direct, manufacturer. It's not a production car that it's not going to be a long-term rivalry. We're going to see Corvette GTD forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the Mustang Camaro rivalry has been around for freaking ever. And the Mustang's biggest thing back in the day was it was cheap, light and cheap.
Yeah.
And actually when they first put it out, the people at Ford didn't have performance plans for it. They were like, it's a secretary's car. Like literally, that's what it was dubbed. I can't remember who actually said it, like in the upper management, but they were like, "It's a secretary's car," and it never was built for that. And then people like the Shelbys of the world who are like, "Hey, that's a pretty light car," and start
Yeah.
making them into like the GT350s, the Bosses, and all that stuff. And now all of a sudden, it was a competitive race car. So
Well, Camera Guy has one point here. He says you guys are forgetting the Dodge Viper and the Ford GT. I would not say Ford GT, but I think I think you have a valid point with the Viper. And the only reason I'm not including that now is obviously they don't make them anymore. But at one point, you would have been right. The Viper probably would have been on the sports car.
And I forgot about. I would say Gen 4, Gen 5, because, and I forgot about the Viper. Thanks for bringing that up. Thank you. Because the first few were nothing but a muscle car. Shit, the first two generations didn't even have traction control. Like nothing. It was a muscle car.
The most
Gen
recent
4s
generation,
Gen 5s,
yeah.
Gen 4s and Gen 5s were track weapons, dude. Like the ACRs.
The ACR literally is what pushed Chevy to make the ZR1. I mean, you can look at the ZR1 and the ACR side by side, and you can clearly tell one of these two was influenced by the other. And I'm pretty sure the ACR was out first. And I mean, I've driven the most recent generation Vipers. They're really cool cars. It's just
they're track weapons.
Yeah, and it's
like 100%.
It's a totally different kind of car, but it's a 2-seater. It's a sports car.
But that was an evolution from a muscle car, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5 to a supercar. And I would absolutely say whoever
100%.
Brought that up, that Gen 4 and Gen 5 ACRs.
Yeah, I was going to say ACR especially. That's definitely a supercar because that had pretty limited production too. Not only that, but when you look at a car that has a functional wing that is the size of the wing on the ACR, you can't say that that's not a supercar. That thing is literally, it looks like it wants to kill you.
Yeah, the whole ACR feel is just nasty. It's like the C701 with the ZTK. It's that whole over the top, in your face. I'm going to do one thing, and I'm going to destroy this track, and I don't care. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Whoever brought that up, thank you.
Jeffrey says Corvette has evolved to attract the younger generation. It used to be the old man's car. Now the Cadillac is really the old man's car. If that was ever the case, I'll be honest. I think Corvette it has a weird stigma with being the old man's car. I would say that stopped at the C6 Z06 because I don't think I've ever seen an old person driving a C6 Z06. And the way that the C6 Z06, the market that it attacked, the way it performs and everything, I think from the C6 Z06 on, the car started to attract younger buyers. Now, it's not even just that it attracts younger buyers. You guys got to understand the biggest thing that stops a young person from buying a Corvette has nothing to do with the way it looks or the way it performs. It's how expensive it is. And like the C8 Z06, if you wanted to get a spec like the one that I have, you better have 140 grand. It's like, what 20-year-old do you know that has 140 grand laying around?
And very also, few most 20-year-olds can't drive a stick, so
that too. So like the C6 Z06 only came in a stick. So if you wanted that car, you better be young enough to drive it without having knee problems or whatever that older people might have. And I really do. I think the C6 Z06 and up is when it started attracting younger buyers. Now, if you go back to the C,
and part of that, Justin, what you're saying is because of the competition and we're cross shopping it too. was the Porsches,
Yeah.
the Beamers. So that when people were like, "Oh crap, this C6Z06 is like lighting this Porsche up," then that's another reason why it started to cross shop into a younger generation. So
Yeah. And New Horizon, Carlos says this is pretty much the same for me. He said, for me as a younger Corvette owner, I was first interested in a Corvette was the C7, but it was when the C8 came along that I had to have it. For me, I don't know how old you are, Carlos. I might be a hair older than you. Because for me, it was the C6 ZR1. When that car came out, I was like, that's the car. And then the C7 Stingray came out, and I said, I have to have that. And luckily I didn't get it because right after that, the C7 Z06 came out, and that was literally my dream car. I knew I would never be able to afford that car. And when the day came that I actually went and bought one, it was the most surreal, perfect thing because that was the absolute most beautiful car I've ever seen in my life, and I managed to own one. And then from there, it was the same thing. Then the C8 Z06, and it's like they just keep getting better.
they keep looking good, man. But that, I'm with you. That was when I but all the wide bodies for the C6s, the Grand Sport, the C6 or the Z06 and Z01, the Grand. When I closed my eyes, even now, and I have C8, whatever, close my eyes and I think Corvette. That's exactly what comes to mind. Is that wide body C6? Those lines are freaking perfection.
Yeah, and you and I are relatively close to the same age. I think odds are good with our age group. The C6 is what really started the fire. And then for me, the C7 is what just like threw gasoline.
I remember the C7 on Vail, and I remember seeing them on the trailer while I was driving one day. Like I remember, and I said the same thing. I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta have one of those."
Yeah.
At the time, couldn't afford it.
That's where I was. The C7 Z06 was a car that I was always going to dream about, but I was never going to be able to touch because they were so expensive. But then I managed to get one, and I thought for sure like this is the peak of anything I'll ever be able to afford. But it was it was really a beautiful thing to be able to achieve your dream car. I mean, not many people can do that, and for me, it was the C7 Z06.
And even today, like I've very recently driven a C7 manual 7-speed. Like even today, a base Corvette, the C7s, they still look great. They still drive great. They've got still good tech. I mean, it's a good interior. Like they're still it's still a very, very attractive platform, and they're affordable now.
Yep,
they really, really are.
Yep. The my big thing is with my ZR1 is that if you use the infotainment system screen the right way with like CarPlay and stuff, especially being a 2019, I can set it up so it's wireless, just like it is in my 2025 Z06.
Right.
Wireless CarPlay. You don't have to worry about the fact that the infotainment system looks a little bit dated because you're using CarPlay and stuff. So in the C7 ZR1 or my C8 Z06, I don't really feel the difference in technology in the car. I feel like it's about the same.
Right. And that's the biggest thing in the C6 generation. Like there's a huge the HUD is like way dated.
Yeah.
Now the radio, all the things like it's way. I'm not changing because I want to keep it stock.
Right.
But I mean that's certainly the biggest step they made from generation to generation was when they went C6 and C7. It was night and day.
Yep.
Night and day.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get into the wrap up of this. I want to make sure that anybody who wants to get in on these titanium lug nuts, number one, whoever wins, you got to tell me if you have a C6, C7, or C8. But if you are interested in getting titanium lug nuts for whether you have a C6 or C7 or C8, now's the time to do it. Jump in on this. I'm going to give you guys another 3 minutes. That's how much time we have for this. If you want to get in on it, you got 3 minutes. I'm going to start setting up the wheel here. So if you want titanium lug nuts, and trust me, you do want them.
You do want, yes.
Get in on this now.
You can win with just $10. Get in on it. $10, you can win 7 lug nuts.
There you go.
But and that's the thing. Like again, Carlos, you were saying you haven't driven a C7 manual. Like I literally actually drove one today, and I will tell you that, I can heel toe. You guys have seen it in my videos. Like I can heel toe shift. I shift like a monster. But dude, that downshift or rev match is like it's almost cheating, but it is that good. And you're talking 2015. That was 10 years ago. 2016. Like you're talking so many years ago that they were able to perfect that technology. Where I mean. It's seamless. You just downshift and the car goes boom, dash boom. Yep. You don't have to do anything. Yep. When I drive my C8 Z06, I'm always in paddle shift mode. If I drive my C7 ZR1, I always have rev match on, and I'll downshift for absolutely no reason, just because it sounds amazing and it keeps that car literally perfectly in the power band.
and you're just
That's
like
right.
ready to go all the time.
Well, and I learned a heel toe, on racetrack, not drag strip, but racetracks, because you have to keep it in the power band, and you don't
Exactly.
want to upset the car when you're
Yep.
braking like that. But yeah, and 10 seconds 06. Yeah, so I got the C8 style lights for my C6 to match. Even the DRLs work like the C8. It's pretty
Yeah.
freaking cool, man.
All right. So
Yep.
we got an entry from Kevin Horan. Thanks, Kevin. Again, guys, we got 2 more minutes. If you want to get in on the titanium lug nuts, actually having less entries is pretty convenient because I'm already done entering them into the spinny
Oh
wheel.
wow! I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna need some time. Good for you, man. But yeah, Darren hit it on the head too, Burnett. He said that the difference between the
Yeah.
C6 and C7 manuals is huge.
Yep.
Huge from a driver. And not that these are bad, they're not. They're great transmissions, they're amazing. But that 7-speed, and they had it through the whole lineup. That 7-speed was amazing. It's one of the best manuals GM ever made. Actually, anybody, in my opinion, ever made
Yep.
is those 7 speeds. Unbelievable.
Yep. And I don't know if he meant to say suspension here, but I would also throw the suspension in there because you guys know we've had Jim Merrow on the channel. He was one of the
Oh, the suspension, hell yeah, dude.
literally the guys who made the suspension, especially for the C7 ZR1. The suspension is totally night and day. Like on my C6 Z06 I had, that was the very first thing. If I had decided I was going to keep that car, there was a handful of things I was going to have to do. I needed to do heads, cam, headers, tune, exhaust, and I needed a really good set of coilovers. Like I'm not going to mess with what's on there because at this point it's dated, old. I mean, David's is a little bit different than mine was because I didn't even have mine. If it had mag ride, it was nothing like what it is today. So because mine was an 08.
And that's even with the mag. Like this car has the mag ride because it's a Centennial, but even the difference just in modes on this car, not special mag or whatever, just the regular modes in the C8, C7's the same way, dude. The suspension is just
well, yeah. And Sean actually said the mag ride was put in a C7 Corvette. It was the same suspension as Ferrari. One of the two, and I don't remember which direction this went, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure GM either bought the technology, mag ride technology from Ferrari, or Ferrari bought it from GM. One of the two happened, and I don't remember which way it went.
Well, and two, they were building into that too because the C6 ZR1 had the Enzo brakes.
Yeah. Yeah,
the Ferrari Enzo,
yep.
the $1 million car back then. Like, oh my god, $1 million.
Yep.
They had the same one. So yeah, I think GM bought it from Ferrari actually, but whatever. So, but yeah, it's
I was going to say no. I'm pretty sure it's the other way around. And Professor Corvette said it. GM invented.
Oh no, the GM did invent.
Yeah, they invented it, and then at one point
they
sold it to Ferrari, and then either bought it back or they didn't sell all of it, and were able to bring it back for themselves. But one of the questions that popped up here: horsepower patriots. I like the name, by the way. He says, "What's your opinion on the C7 Z06 compared to the Hellcat power plant? Cast iron block 2.4 and 2.7 liter blower compared to a ZF Auto Trans compared to the aluminum block 8L90." It's funny you mentioned this because I just was watching something about this. Randomly came across an article posted or a question posted on a Hellcat group on Facebook, and someone was saying something about, our cars are pretty fast. Like, why do we always get ragged on about being slow? And the first reply was, dude, don't even try against the C7 Z06. He's like, you have more horsepower than they do, but that car will eat you alive. So don't even bother. There's a gigantic weight difference. The transmission's better, blah, 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 blah. Yep. And it's funny because to me, I've never really been a big Hellcat fan. Obviously, I have a Ram TRX, which is basically a Hellcat engine, but I've never been a Hellcat fan just because the cars are just too big, and I'm more of a track car guy. So I always want a scalpel instead of a sledgehammer, as David likes to put it. So that's always been my take on
it. And I'll piggyback off of that because again, I haven't had a C7 Z06, but I've been in them, I've ridden in them, I've tested them, whatever else. And I'll say that the difference is the fact that to get this, like, you can have a 750, 800 wheel horsepower C7 Z06 and walk 1,000 horsepower.
Yep.
Hellcat all day long.
Yeah, the weight difference.
The aero.
Yeah, and the
aero. Weight, the gearing, like it's a whole different ballgame. And like Justin said, if It doesn't matter, man. You can say, "Oh, I only have 750 horsepower in my C7 Z06." Well, I got 1,000 horsepower to the wheel Hellcat. You'll
Yeah.
get walked.
You will.
You will get straight walked, dude. And I have both. Like I have a monster
Yep.
Challenger. I wouldn't race a built C7 Z06 on the street. I'd race them on the track, on a drag strip, on the street. No way, dude. I'll get walked. I'll get walked. No way.
Yep. Yeah, Ricky says his C7Z was slightly modded and a newer Yamaha R1 couldn't keep up on a roll.
Yeah.
I on my C7 ZR1 stock, I raced, I don't remember what it was. It was a 1000 cc bike. And he couldn't pull from me and I couldn't pull from him. So, and this guy was, I have the video. This guy was like in it. And I was like, this guy's freaking nuts. Like we're going like way too fast for Mexico, of course. And I couldn't pull from him and he couldn't pull from me.
Well, and the guys don't really like sleep on this. Like if you're roll racing speeds, 60 to 130s, 150, I don't know what you're going, but at 120, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour, the arrow between those cars,
it's massive.
It's like driving a billboard through the air, 150 miles an hour when you're driving a Challenger. You can actually feel the wind resistance.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and run this wheel now for those of you who entered. I didn't get any new entries except for Kevin Horan, and he's on here. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this thing up. Make sure
Let's do it.
It's got the right tire shine on it or whatever Professor Corvette said. There we go. So as you can see, Charles, Jay, and Gordon stand the best chances here. But Nate, you're in there with 2 entries. Ricky's with 1. Kevin's with 1. Cameron's with 1. So here we go. Looks like it's going to be Gordon.
Yes. My man.
All right, Gordon.
My man.
It is. It's Gordon. So you are the winner. That's interesting, Gordon. So you don't have titanium lugs. You do now. So Gordon, just shoot me an email when you get a chance. It's just horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. I get your address and I'll get these out to you. Let me know what car too. I think you have a C8. But let me know if it's a C6, C7, or C8, and I'll get you out the appropriate titanium lug nuts. But yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
My man.
Yeah. Nice seeing you guys all tonight as usual. Thanks for coming on, Carlos, Meme, Peterson, Charles, Jay Bray. I can't mention all of you. I appreciate all of you tuning in for sure. Big thumbs up if you can, guys, if you haven't yet. And yeah, you did get a shirt too, Gordon. You probably already have one if I had to guess, but either way, shoot me your address and I'll share that.
I've got new ones.
I'll share it with David so we can get you all covered.
Yeah, I've got his address. Yep, but I'll get it to him. And Charles, I'm sending you one anyway, so there you go. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. All right, guys, thumbs up on your way out, please. Big thank you to everybody as usual. Look at the fanfare here. And as always, guys, stay obsessed. Wait.
I'm trying to make it, Professor.
She's trying to make
What's up, buddy?
the drive-by.
Drive-by comment.
She got it at the very last
A
second.
little late to the party.
All
Sorry.
Maybe next time.
That's all.
Anyway, guys, stay obsessed. We'll see you next Monday night.